I conceive, however, proceeded Crassius, that when you have heard me, you will not so much admire what I have said as think that when you desired to hear, there was no good reason for your desire. For I shall say nothing obtruse, nothing to answer your expectation, nothing either previously unheard by you or new to anyone. In the first place, I will not deny that as becomes a man will born and liberally educated, I learned those trite and common precepts of teachers in general. First, that it is the business of an orator to speak in a manner adapted to persuade. Next, that every speech is either upon a question concerning a matter in general without specification of persons or times, or concerning a matter referring to certain persons and times, but that in either case, whatever falls under controversy, the question will regard to it is usually whether such a thing has been done, or if it has been done, of what nature it is, or by what name it should be called, or, as some add, whether it seems to have been done rightly or not. That controversies arise also on the interpretation of writing, in which anything has been expressed ambiguously or contradictorily, or so that what is written is at variance with the writer's evident intention, and that there are certain lines of argument adapted to all these cases. But that of such subjects as are distinct from general questions, part come under the head of judicial proceedings, part under that of deliberations, and that there is a third kind which is employed in praising or censuring particular persons, that there are also certain commonplaces on which we may insist in judicial proceedings, in which equity is the object, others which we may adopt in deliberations, all which are to be directed to the advantage of those to whom we give counsel, others in panegyry, in which all must be referred to the dignity of the persons commended. That since all the business and art of an orator is divided into 5 parts, he ought first to find out what he should say, next to dispose and arrange his matter not only in a certain order, but with a sort of power and judgment, then to clothe and deck his thoughts with language, then to secure them in his memory, and lastly to deliver them with dignity and grace. I had learned and understood also that before we enter upon the main subject, the minds of the audience should be conciliated by an exordium. Next, that the case should be clearly stated. Then, that the point in controversy should be established. Then, that what we maintain should be supported by proof, and that whatever was said on the other side should be refuted. And that in the conclusion of our speech, whatever was in our favor should be amplified and enforced, and whatever made for our adversaries should be weakened and invalidated. 32. I had heard also what is taught about the costume of a speech, in regard to which it is first directed that we should speak correctly and in pure Latin, next intelligibly and with perspicuity, then gracefully, then suitably to the dignity of the subject, and as it were becomingly, and I had made myself acquainted with the rules relating to every particular. Moreover, I had seen art applied to those things which are properly endowments of nature, for I had gone over some precepts concerning action and some concerning artificial memory, which were short indeed, but requiring much exercise, matters on which almost all the learning of those artificial orators is employed, and if I should say that it is of no assistance, I should say what is not true, for it conveys some hints to admonish the orator, as it were, to what he should refer each part of his speech, and to what points he may direct his view, so as not to wander from the object which he has proposed to himself. But I consider that with regard to all precepts, the case is this, not that orators by adhering to them have obtained distinction in eloquence, but that certain persons have noticed what men of eloquence practiced of their own accord, and formed rules accordingly. So that eloquence has not sprung from art, but art from eloquence. Not that, as I said before, an entirely reject art, for it is, though not essentially necessary to oratory, yet proper for a man of liberal education to learn. And by you, my young friend, some preliminary exercise must be undergone, though indeed you are already on the course. But those who are to enter upon a race, and those who are preparing for what is to be done in the forum as their field of battle, may alike previously learn and try their powers by practicing in sport. That sort of exercise, said Sulpius, is just what we wanted to understand, but we desire to hear more at large what you have briefly and cursorily delivered concerning art, though such matters are not strange even to us. Of that subject, however, we shall inquire hereafter. At present, we wish to know your sentiments on exercise.